What's up, all you movie lover badasses out there? Fat Samurai Guy here with Lady Fatblood, and we are in the parking lot. So far, so good. There's nobody else here. It kind of seems like we're the first ones here,
Man.
but this, we're anxiously awaiting.
Yeah, we weren't taking any chances.
No.
I originally got a 10 o'clock in the morning showing. I bumped it to the 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
It is now 7:22
Yes.
at our mall. And we're really lucky because the vicinity we live in, nerd culture hasn't really hit too hard yet. I know they had a lot of showtimes yesterday, last night, Thursday evening. So I'm hoping a lot of the nerds came out in droves and got it out of their system. I'm not expecting perfection seats, but I think we'll be okay.
Watch, there's a big-ass line inside.
We're
out here vlogging.
They will be inside, but we're going off of how many cars are in the parking lot right now. So
we don't see anybody.
So far, so good.
But we're anxiously we're excited. We're just about to get ready to go see Star Wars: Force Awakens. We are very excited. This is probably the most anticipated movie of the year now. Our most anticipated now. We got our fingers crossed. I got a good feeling. But before we rush in, I see 2 cars.
Run!
Damn it! Damn you! Damn it! 3 cars now! Damn it! This is gonna be the quickest vlog review ever.
So we all know what Star Wars is about. Okay, we're done.
So before we go in, we just wanted to reminisce really quickly over the original trilogy, the trilogy we grew up on.
Well,
she came in late. She came in late. I grew up on it.
It was very late entry into the series.
The real trilogy. Yes. Possibly one of the greatest trilogies of all time. Possibly one of the most influential trilogies of all time. And that's Star Wars Episode 4 through 6. So let's talk a little bit about the first one. A New Hope, 1977.
Which the subtitle "The New Hope" was not. A New Hope was not added until later on in a re-release in the theatrical version, where before it was just called Star Wars. But I've always known it as A New Hope. That's how I saw it always. We know the story. Luke Skywalker meets up with Han Solo and Chewbacca. He gets trained for a little bit by old man Obi-Wan Kenobi. We got the droids, R2-D2, C-3PO. We all go on a little space adventure. We save a princess. We destroy a Death Star. We have one of the greatest villains ever in the name of Darth Vader, who by the end of the film, what I really thought was interesting about the movie was that it could have really been a standalone. This movie could have been a fly-by-night cult classic. Nobody could have been interested in it just because it was the 70s. Sci-fi had kind of gone underground for a bit. And it could have just ended as it was, especially at the end when they get their medals and everybody's like, yay, we blew up the Death Star. But Darth Vader still survived, and we still had this empire out there. So I really liked how, it could have just been a fly-by-night, never heard from again. But we very easily could have gone into the sequels, which we all know the history. So,
and like Jaws, a lot of people predicted this movie to be a failure.
And there were production problems.
A lot of people predicted. Can you? Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Star Wars, a financial failure? What? But it turned out for the best for us, and is one of my favorite childhood movies. Growing up, it was just magical. Watching it on TV all the time because I wasn't even born yet. Damn it! I popped out 2 years after this movie was released, so I had to catch it on the old tube. But what's some of the good things?
Well, it's one of those really simple, it's so easy to follow. The plot is easy to follow. The characters, you get to know who they are really quick based on their actions and not by people telling each other who they are in expository dialogue. So you get to know who everybody is.
Very relatable and likable characters.
Yeah,
that we can actually give a shit about.
It's very kind of harkening back to almost like how Indiana Jones was kind of a loving homage to the old serials, the adventure serials of the 30s. This was kind of the same deal where it's so easy to just slip into the film. It's just an adventure. It's a sci-fi, fantasy adventure, and groundbreaking practical effects for the time, and still to this day, 77. Come on,
it's 1977, and some of that stuff still looks good today. John Williams' amazing score.
Oh, good lord.
No,
Don't
no,
get me started
I
on
know.
John Williams. I will go on forever on that living legend.
How about some of the bad? Anything really bad?
Again,
Gotta be, if we be picky, maybe.
okay, I did not grow up on Star Wars, and I am completely and admittedly in the minority on this. This is not my favorite Star Wars film. It's actually probably slightly, like, just a little bit on my least favorite, but what it is, it's still a great film. Mm-hmm. So it's only because by the time we get into Empire and Return of the Jedi, we know the characters more, and there's so much more emotional weight behind all of their actions. That's why I love Return of the Jedi like that much more. Just see that, just that much more.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's the significant amount, oh no, I hate A New Hope, and the other movies are just so much better. It's not even like that. This movie, the very first time I saw it, I was probably 17 years old, and I was like, this is some cheesy, clunky dialogue.
77, man.
The acting is so stiff, and it's just so, but no, there's a charm to it. There's, so it's like, I again, that is only me that thinks that way, believe me.
I guess the maybe, to be picky, the movie could be a little slow at some parts.
A little bit. Just
a
little.
For today's audience is what I'm talking about. For like today's audience, where everything is Transformers and CG explosions and everything, they may watch this old movie, and at some parts they might get a little bored. They might pull out their phones and text.
And really, it's only because there's development going on. It's character development. It's situational development. So.
And I guess Luke, as awesome as his character is, he could be a little whiny sometimes.
Get some power converters.
He could be a little whiny. Hey, I'm watching the car. I'm watching you, man. Don't be getting in the front.
Keeping an eye on the. We're still
keeping an eye, damn it.
What time is it?
What time is it?
7:30.
All right.
We're okay.
So Luke could be a little whiny at times. It's fine though, but he's supposed to be young and just.
Yeah, even Leia could be a little bitchy, and she had that stupid accent going on that she lost halfway through the film.
British accent.
Yeah, she was speaking that proper American, but it turns into a little bit of British inflections, and she lost that by the end of the movie. So it was like, okay.
And let's talk about the lightsaber duel. It's
an old man and a guy in a suit who probably couldn't even see what he was doing.
Yeah,
there was
it looked like they were just poking each other.
There was no such thing as proper fight choreography by American standards back in the day. So,
there were movies around that had good sword fights, but maybe not too much in America. Maybe the Three Musketeers or something like that,
Well, in the 70s Musketeers, those are British films.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's a whole other story.
But there was it didn't that fight didn't need to be overly stylized, but you cared about what was going on.
Yeah, you cared about
There was emotional
Obi-Wan.
weight.
You cared about Luke reacting.
Oh, sorry, we're going to be doing spoilers during this. We should have mentioned that earlier. Sorry. So if you haven't seen these movies, shame on you.
I know, right?
Go watch it. Come back and watch the little vlog here. But yeah, I mean, when Obi-Wan dies and Luke says no and screams,
you feel it.
You're like, damn, what happened? But so we didn't need old man Obi-Wan pulling a CG Yoda from Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, flipping around. I'm surprised George Lucas has not went back and CG'd Obi-Wan Kenobi and Darth Vader fighting better.
Oh
my God, that would have been so. Oh, damn it! I just gave him an idea. I'm sorry, guys.
I don't know if he can do that anymore since I don't know.
You can find a way to do anything, that guy. Well, anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, overall, a very fun and fantastic adventure, an exciting adventure with likable characters. Just a timeless classic. Star Wars is, and never gets old. 1977. Damn it. But we give what?
Badass.
Oh crap! I forgot to talk about what was cool about the movie. Go ahead.
Oh Lord. Yeah, and of course you've got again the possibly one of the most iconic. You'd have to rank him top 3.
Oh yeah.
Villains ever to come out of, and it wasn't just at first. It was just his look. Because Darth Vader originally was just kind of a lapdog. And even though he became somebody else's lapdog by the third film, he was still intimidating. And when you got to finally know that there was a human being underneath there, he became a villain with layers. I mean, how awesome was that to actually have a fleshed out villain back in the day? But as it stands, he was just this big, creepy looking guy that you just didn't mess with back in the first film.
Vader's the shit. He's the shit.
Yeah.
I love how the one dude was talking shit on him and like dogging the Force. Dogging the Force, you know, and then Vader just walks over there and just does this and he starts getting choked out.
Yep.
Brilliant.
Yep.
Han Solo. Another thing that was just badass about the movie. Just Han shot first, damn it. Okay?
Sorry.
Because he was the shit.
Sorry,
all right?
younglings. I hate to break it to
Hey,
you.
he shot first, all right? Shot first. Had no regret on his face. Just stood up, walked over to the barkeep, threw him a coin, and said, "For your trouble," and walked out.
And guess what?
Dropped the mic.
Everyone was okay with that. There was no, oh, how could he? Oh, the moral implications of him.
No.
Nobody gave a shit.
No.
Nobody gave two living shits about Han shooting first. It wasn't even a question of how could he do such a thing. It's like, oh, cool, do it again.
Yeah.
Nobody
pretty much.
cared, but somewhere along the way, somebody thought that,
Yes.
it wasn't right that he just shot in cold blood because he has to have more morality to his character because he's a good guy. 'Cause,
Yep, we got more people showing up.
we do. People are going
We might have to speed this up. Anything else you'd like to say?
No, not really. It's just a fun. It's a perfect of its time film. That it's one of those films where the stars were in alignment and it became so much greater than what it could have been. From a technical level, you had the fantastic dogfight sequences by the end when you actually had the battles in space, and it was groundbreaking for the time. And it's
Still a great scene to watch today.
It is so easy to see how the film blew up and how it really latched on to so many people throughout the world, and why it is still to this day so iconic. I mean, what is it? What are we? Almost 40 years later.
40 years.
And we're still discussing Star Wars. We are in a freezing ass car, waiting to get some form of redemption from a long-awaited true sequel. And it's just a fun romp. It's a perfect, fun, easy to just slip in and out of romp.
So what do we give it for? I give it 4.5 out of 5 stars.
You gave it a 4.8.
Oh shit, 4.8. I'm sorry. 4.8.
Yeah, I'm fine with 4.8.
4.8.
Definitely.
Now, Return of the Jedi. What did we give Return of the Jedi? 4.5.
I think you put it 4.5. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, the only reason we get we 4. Return of the Jedi we're going to get to really quickly. But the reason why we gave we can watch Return of the Jedi a lot more, even with its flaws, than the first Star Wars movie. But as an overall film from beginning to end, that's not a sequel. Star Wars is the better movie. That's why we rated Star Wars higher than Return of the Jedi.
My personal rating for Return of the Jedi.
But we can watch. But Return of the Jedi, we can watch that a lot more than the first Star Wars.
From a technical theatrical standpoint, Return of the Jedi would get like what you have from me, but from an emotional standpoint, with the unbutchered ending of Return of the Jedi as it properly is, as it should be, and as it hopefully will be again one day on Blu-ray. That emotional ending was so satisfying, and the imagery that came out of it with Vader, his character arc, and his what ends up becoming of him, and I'm going to tell you this right now. Again, I was about 17 when I first saw the movie, and I actually did a marathon, all 3 films in one sitting in one day. And by the time the Return of the Jedi ended, and you see everybody celebrating on Endor, they've destroyed the Death Star again. The Empire is done, and you see Obi-Wan ghost, you see Yoda ghost, and then all of a sudden you pan over. This is the pan and scan, so yeah, we had to pan over. You see Yoda look over, and you see Luke looking, and you see old man Anakin,
Yes.
appear as a spirit ghost. I am not ashamed to admit I actually just a little bit cried, just a little bit, because it was so beautiful. It was such a oh, that's so awesome! Oh my god, I actually got a little weepy eyed and was like, that that was so emotional for me, just
Yeah.
because I am a sucker for a great redemption story.
Mm-hmm.
And that was near perfection. So,
And this is during Yub Yub song.
This was during Yub Yub.
If you can pull that kind of emotional content out of us during Yub Yub.
Exactly. It's playing throughout the entirety of the scene, and that comes up, and it was like, oh, it was Return of the Jedi, when I was younger, was actually my favorite Star Wars film, until I got a little bit older and I was able to appreciate how dark and ballsy Empire was.
Oh,
now,
man.
Of course, Empire is my favorite film. I feel...
Yes, I'm the same with her.
Yeah.
When I was young, Return of the Jedi that was my favorite. Empire was like my second favorite. But as I got older, man, it's all about Empire Strikes fucking Back.
It's Empire...
That's the fucking shit.
I feel, and I think a lot of people feel this way about Empire Strikes Back, which was 1980, if you can believe that.
Isn't that insane?
That is crazy. The movie is a year older than I am, and it's the way it holds up to this day. The balls that movie had, but as a whole, The Empire Strikes Back is not only a fantastic Star Wars film, and this is the mark of a great film, it is a great film on its own. Mm-hmm. There is barely a flaw that I can even think of.
It's near perfect. I mean, there is no such thing as a perfect film, but there's movies like Aliens and other films out there
Jaws.
They're like right there.
And you can't even if there is a flaw, you can't think of one.
Yeah.
There might be a technical flaw hidden in the cracks somewhere that you don't even notice.
But nothing major to be like, well, that was bullshit. None of that.
No, there was no gaping plot holes that you would probably be like, well, you know, there was this scene here that I was just like, oh God, what the hell was that? But then the rest of the movie is so entertaining that you forgive it. There was nothing like that in Empire Strikes Back.
I'm watching. Just keep going. Keep vlogging it. I'm watching you, man. We got a few more cars now.
So, of course, with The Empire Strikes Back, we know the plot. We all know the plot. A couple years after the episode 4, the rebels are still fighting. We're still going. Vader's still out there. The Empire is still going strong and fighting back. You know, everybody's fighting each other. And we meet up with Luke, who gets... Does he get messaged at this point about going to find Yoda? Like, it's been so long since I've seen the movie.
Well, yeah, the ghost of Obi-Wan.
He tells him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tells him to go to Dagobah system.
Right.
And at this point, Luke is a little bit more experienced with the Force now.
His personality is he's a lot more of an adult now. He's not sitting around whining. He whines a little bit with Yoda, but anybody would whine when they're getting trained by a master, so, you know. Yeah.
Let's talk about Yoda, man.
Yoda!
One of the greatest characters, man. Yoda, I swear.
One of the greatest characters in personality, characters in puppetry. You will believe a puppet can train you in the ways of the Force.
You will believe.
One of the greatest themes, courtesy of Mr. John Williams. I get goose bumpy a little bit whenever I hear Yoda's theme. It's one of the sweetest themes that manages to convey a wiseness and it's Yoda. You get this feeling whenever you hear Yoda's theme.
John Williams' score in general is freaking amazing in this movie.
Probably my favorite overall theme. You get the asteroid song. Everybody knows the asteroid song in Empire Strikes Back. You finally get the Empire March accompanied by it kind of becomes the Empire March / a little bit of the Vader theme. A lot of people associate it mostly with Vader, but it actually is officially the Empire March. You finally get the Han and Leia love theme in this version. And the finale of this movie, it's just the audacity that this movie had,
the balls,
well paid off,
that movies today don't really do.
And we were having this discussion the other day. We were trying to think of a film prior to this that had sequels.
Yeah,
that was 2 or 3 parts in sequels, and how many movies had ever come before Empire that were a continuing story that had the balls to leave their characters off in such a dark place that basically guaranteed the audience, okay, see you in 3 years because we know you'll be back and you know you'll be back.
Mm-hmm.
I could not think of at least a well-known series of films that had done that before.
The Empire had they won the day in that one. Our heroes were left broken, injured, captured, and that's how the movie ended.
Luke Skywalker ended without his
They don't do
right
that today.
hand. He found out that Darth Vader was his father.
Everyone's emotionally scarred, broken, just whoop.
He was
the
basically told by Yoda that if you continue down this path, this path of not centering yourself and becoming one with the Force,
Or
if
vengeance.
you rush off
Yeah.
to do what you want to do, you are eventually going to become something that you're not prepared to be, and eventually you realize Yoda's warning him, you are going to become your father because he doesn't know at this point. Oh, Lord.
Just, man, special effects were even better this time around. Man, the models, the practical, the visual effects were just amazing. Man, the music.
Yes.
I got the Asteroid song in my head right now.
And we had our first encounter between Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader fighting very clunkily, but it was what it needed to be. No. I mean, because Luke didn't really know, he wasn't a seasoned pro.
No.
And so the fighting is very, okay, well, I'm competent with the saber, but this guy's scaring the shit out of me, and I've got my friends I'm worried
it was
about.
realistic.
Yeah, it was exactly what it needed to be.
He knew how to use the lightsaber, but not to Vader level. And Vader, you could tell Vader, and it was such a badass lightsaber fight because Vader was fucking with him. He was fucking with him. At some part of the fight, Vader just stood back and was like, you know what? I don't even have to fight you. I'm just going to stand here and let my force powers fuck you up. And just grabbed this beam over here and threw it at Luke and just fuck me. That's how the lightsaber fight ended. He just used his force. He's like, I don't even have to move a finger. Oh, we got more cars.
I'm checking the time.
And it was, visually, the fight looked great. It's just, oh man, it was just.
Again.
And there was like no music. With some of that fight, there was really no music.
But then towards the end, when it needed to be,
yeah,
everything was
the big reveal.
Everything, it's one of those where
know the power.
Yeah.
So you can't do that line without doing this. The dark side.
It's a perfectionary film. Perfectionary. I'm making up words.
We're vlogging. Who gives a fuck?
I'm making up words because this movie makes me happy.
Oh, the Hoth battle in the beginning.
Yes,
that was awesome.
And I am happy to say that this is the least bastardized versions of the special edition.
Yeah,
so
thank God.
So we did take the pill and we bought the Blu-ray of the original trilogy because we love the movies so much, even though they are so utterly destroyed by the changes, especially in New Hope.
And we get to see Boba Fett on screen for the first time. Now, Boba Fett didn't really do much in this trilogy. Well, in the
I
last
know,
two.
it kind of begs to wonder, why did he reach out to so many people? So many people love Boba Fett. It's like he didn't really do a
He didn't
whole
do
lot,
that
but
much.
I guess iconic, like visually.
But visually, he looked like a badass, and the way he acted was very, very full of badassery. But it was kind of like when you looked at him and the way he moved and the way he spoke, you knew, like, you know what? I might not want to fuck with that guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Very intimidating. Of course, they gave him the kind of Boba Fett, boing, Boba Fett death, which was bad in Return of the Jedi.
But you know what's funny about Empire?
Which I heard may not be canon anymore.
We'll see.
Boba Fett's death in Return of the Jedi. I'm hearing rumors going around that. No, he didn't die. We're going to fix that. But
we already know in the expanded universe he didn't, but
yeah.
What I thought was really funny was the exchange.
People driving crazy. What's going on?
The exchange between Boba Fett and Vader at
What's
one
happening?
point. Vader was like, no disintegrations.
Now we got security guard chasing. What the hell is going on?
That's what we get for vlogging in the parking lot.
All right. Anyway.
But I gotta give a quick mention to one of my favorite dark comedy scenes in Empire, which I pointed out to you. Mm-hmm. You had never seen it before.
Remind me. What is it?
It is the scene where you've got the what are they? The Star Destroyers.
Okay.
They're the big ships.
Yeah.
And you've got the asteroid. They're in the asteroid field.
Okay.
And you've got this communication going between I think it's Vader and somebody else. And you see an asteroid crash into the top of one of the Star Destroyers, and it destroys the very top tower. and you see these holograms, and Vader's talking to these holograms.
I remember now.
And you see this hologram guy. You cut to an internal shot, and you see this hologram go, ah! And he disappears. Basically,
I remember.
They slipped in this scene of sheer brilliance where you basically just implied that guy just died.
While reporting the news, while reporting what's going on.
I found this to be so hysterical. I had never noticed it before.
I never noticed it.
And I even noticed this in Pan and Scan Land, so it's been pretty visible. But when you're paying attention to the movie, you're not necessarily picking up on all these other little side cues. But
what are we doing on time? How are we doing?
We are at 7:47.
Okay. And the love story, the love part of this didn't feel forced. Go ahead.
And on that same note, did not feel forced. And it came the hell out of nowhere in the most believable of fashions because there was no real connection between the two of them in the first one. There was no blatant, there's some sexual chemistry and tension brewing between those two.
They were talking shit to each other.
Yeah, they were basically, but they were all kind of talking shit to each other in the first one. And then by the second one, Leia keeps throwing these looks out at Han, and you're like, oh, okay. And then she kisses Luke to make Han jealous. Anyway, what we never mentioned that. That didn't happen.
Retcon that.
Yeah, we're not even gonna look back on that one. And so yeah, we had two films in the prequels that failed
We have to wrap it up soon.
to convey this dialogue.
Yeah.
Okay. That failed to convey this because of the dialogue and just everything just not working. But you have these two that only had this one film to really establish themselves. And it was totally believable. And we all know I hate love stories and I think they're bullshit and they're bogus, but
perfectly fine in this because the way they did it, it felt realistic.
It just worked. And the two of them, they had this feisty little chemistry together and just
it just felt natural. It just wasn't painful like the prequel love stories. But we already did reviews on all three of those movies, which you can check out on our channel. But we need to wrap this up quick.
Yeah.
But for me, 5 out of 5 stars.
5 out of 5.
Easy.
Absolutely.
5 out of 5. And Return of the Jedi. So what's going on in Return of the Jedi now?
Return of the Jedi takes place another couple of years after the events of the last one. As we know, Han Solo was frozen in carbonite by the disgusting Jabba the Hutt. And the end of the Empire basically ended on this uncertainty of, are we going to be able to get him back? Are we going to pull out of this okay? And we jump in pretty quickly to Leia disguised, infiltrating Jabba's palace and basically going in and saving him while she is kind of captured a little bit. And in comes another incarnation of Luke Skywalker, who is, again, older and wiser. He's dressed in black now. He's got his glove over
Not
his...
whiny, complaining.
Not
the
even...
Jedi don't like me. Why the Jedi don't like me? Nah. Sorry. I'm prequel flashbacks.
I think this is probably my favorite version of Luke Skywalker.
Oh, yeah.
I did enjoy him kind of getting his ass verbally handed to him by Yoda in Empire. I feel like Yoda said everything that needed to be said to him, and he didn't want to hear it, but he still realized by the end that, oh my God, Yoda was totally right on all of this. So now we have a much more subdued but more confident Luke Skywalker. He's in more control of his abilities. He's a little more confident in his abilities, but still always very mindful about who he could become. He has full knowledge of what his father is now, and we also get one of the big retcons in this movie as he goes back to the Dagobah system and sadly witnesses the death of Master Yoda.
Which I found was a really, really great scene, but I kind of found it was a little rushed.
Probably because
it was just kind of like, oh, Yoda's dead now, okay.
We just didn't have a lot of time with him, and for such a character like that...
Well, we could have spent more time with Yoda's death if we cut some of that damn Ewok bullshit down, which is obviously the worst part of the... No, I don't really mind the Ewoks. Obviously, they were there for the kids. They were there to sell toys. We get it. But I didn't really mind the Ewoks if they kind of just passed through there. But once our the rebels, once our heroes end up on Endor, the movie just screeches to a halt, man. It's just like, oh, all right, we're in a different movie now.
Yeah.
And we stay there.
We
stay there till the end of the damn movie.
And then we even
That's what's wrong with Return.
We even go so far as to grind the movie even further to a halt by having dinner with the Ewoks. They do this big feast. Luke and Leia meet up again. They're having this discussion where C-3PO is telling them the story of the Empire and all the rebel forces, how they've been fighting all these years, and then the Ewoks decide that they're going to help. And we kind of sit there for a really long time, and the only really good thing to come out of that scene was Luke's revelation to Leia that, hey, guess what I just found out?
Yeah.
And
you're my sister.
Not only is Darth Vader my father and the Force is strong in my family, but yeah, you and I, we're kind of guess what? And she kind of gets this look on her face like, oh shit, yeah, I kind of knew that, but I didn't kiss you. So that was the good part of it. I understand completely that this was more of the Luke in his desire to save Vader. Mm-hmm. That was his story. I feel like Leia's potential was never really... We never had the time to really tap into any of her abilities, and who knows, again, maybe if we weren't on Endor playing with the Ewoks for so long, maybe that could have come of it. Maybe we could have had this revelations a little bit earlier on. But as it stands, I think it was good that so much of the finale was focused on Luke Skywalker basically letting himself be captured, or surrendering himself, more or less, and meeting up with his father. And now we have our true introduction to the Emperor. We get not only the Emperor, but we get the Emperor's theme.
Yes.
One of the most perfectly over the top, but completely appropriate, so dramatic and operatic. Yeah, exactly.
Killing it.
Again, it's just, John Williams' score really kicks in here. The finale had so much emotional weight. You got
special effects even better in this time.
Yeah,
they're able to put more ships on screen now.
Yeah, you've got the rebel forces that are going after this new Death Star that they're in the process of building. So you've got that finale going on over there. You've got the finale going on Endor. We've got 3 big finales going on here, and that's the finale that I'm always just kind of like, oh god, I understand. You got the shield generators, and you got this destroyer. You got the okay. I know you have to be here, but I really want to be up in space, or I want to be with Vader and the Emperor and Luke. My favorite scene is the Emperor is basically trying to get inside Luke's head. Vader at this point, he's just a subdued puppet. And there's nothing shameful about it. We already know he's had this exchange with Luke already before he takes him in to meet the Emperor.
Which is a great scene.
Fantastic, where Vader's basically like, you know what, I'm sorry, but it's too late for me. You don't know what this is. You don't know how it is. You don't know the power of the dark side.
You don't know.
And it's too late for me. I'm sorry.
And then you got Luke saying, I could still,
they're still good in you.
Good in you.
And it's so heartbreaking because Luke really believes it. And so, you
got more people showing up.
Yeah, we do.
Let's wrap it up.
So the finale, the real true finale for me is, and this is where the emotional weight really comes into play and why I love the original ending of The Return of the Jedi so much. You've got this exchange where Vader, the Emperor's trying to get Luke to fight Vader. He wants him to turn to the dark side. And Luke doesn't want to fight his father. And he's kind of like trying to not really hide, but not be like in a position to have to fight. And you see Luke and you see the shadows being cast on him. And Vader starts fucking with Luke and he's like, oh, you have a sister. Well, if you can't be turned, maybe she can. And Luke fucking teeth just snaps and he comes out. And the next thing you know, they're just like
straight baseball bat,
like there is
the Warriors style.
There is no eloquency. There is no poetry.
No fancy flipping around martial arts fight choreography. It's just
It is a
Die.
beat down
That's
of
it.
the lightsabers, and it has this weight to it where you're just like, oh God, Luke, no, Luke, you're doing. But it's completely understandable. So you got this exchange between the two, and the Emperor is just loving every single minute of it, and which all culminates in Luke chopping off his dad's hand. And Vader is just this broken, he's panting.
The same hand Vader cut off.
He's just like destroyed. And Luke looks at the hand, and it's got all this robotics in it. Mm-hmm. And Luke looks at his own hand. And he's like, oh shit! And he throws down his lightsaber and he looks at the Emperor. He's like, no, I'm not going to do this. And then the Emperor just like is like, okay. So he does what he does in this exchange where the lightning, and in the real version,
yes,
Vader rises. And he's looking back and forth, and his son Luke is he's pleading with his father, please help me, father, please. And Vader is he's standing next to the Emperor, and he's just looking at the two.
Yeah, you don't know what Vader's thinking.
You do, but you
can make assumptions
because of the camera work. The camera
but you don't really
going.
know because he's standing next to his boss and he's just doing this.
But then you see the camera zooms in on Vader's mask, and he's just going back and forth.
So you can assume what's about to happen.
And he's going back and forth, and then he just goes, oh fuck it, and he just lifts up the Emperor and just throws him down, and of course the electrical the dark side force is just destroying him.
Because the Emperor was fucking him up while
it's all going into Vader now, and it's just so he throws the Emperor over, and Vader's just left panting and sparking on it. I mean, it's just And then of course it was
all fucking ruined in the special edition because George Lucas thinks we're idiots.
He thinks
we're dumb.
Truly dumb.
That's what I said. You can assume what's about to happen. Here come the cars, man.
Yeah.
You can assume what's about to happen. But it's not blatantly forced because he's just standing there doing this. But
you don't need to be explained.
No, but in special edition, he's like, no. Anyway.
And so that got ruined.
Yes.
But I watched it a lot, the original version, so I know the real version.
Yes.
And that's why that is so much more emotional to me.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, the exchange afterward where Luke is like, I have to save you. And Vader's like, you already have.
Yeah.
And you get to see him for the first time. And he's just this broken, old, sad man.
Let me see you with my own eyes.
And that scene was just devastating and beautiful. And then of course the immolation scene where Luke sets Vader's body on fire.
And the music
is the Jedi theme is swelling over, and I'm probably one of the only few people that didn't have a problem with the re-scoring of the end of Return of the Jedi. I actually liked the song. But now I find that it's jarring because the special effects that they added to show Naboo and Coruscant and all the places that we saw from the original prequels. From the prequels. From the prequels, it is jarring because it reminds me too much of those films, and I don't want to see that in the end of Return of the Jedi. And so I like the score that was added for the special edition sequences, but for my money, if I have to trade that really nice song that John Williams composed for the special edition, if I have to trade that for the real version with Yub Yub, for the real old Anakin and that powerful and emotional, just like
no Hayden Christensen
little tear fest that I get whenever I see the real version of that, I will gladly trade a good song for a perfect scene. So, again, the other finales were fine. The other finales, but the thing is that we'd already had a destroy the Death Star sequence in the first movie, so this was just kind of like, okay, more of the same, but it was still fun. Yeah.
It's a trap.
You had the funny gripe, and it's true. We all know in the Empire Strikes Back, Lando Calrissian betrays Leia and Han and Chewie by turning them over to the Empire and to Vader. And,
Lando Calrissian.
And by the time Return of the Jedi comes around, it's been a couple of years. Han doesn't know everything that Lando has done in kind of a
You can assume he was briefed, but their makeup in Return of the Jedi was really
Yeah, it was
was
like-
very like, hey, what's up, man? How you doing? Woo!
I know you
It's all
betrayed
good,
us,
man.
but, you know,
You
it's
betrayed
okay.
us in the last movie, but we're all good now. We're besties.
But he was
So that could have been stretched out and a little bit more realistic in terms of character development with them bonding back together as friends again.
yeah,
But
we didn't have a lot of time because we were focused
Yeah.
elsewhere. But
and Ewoks defeating the Empire. Like I said, Ewoks. I don't mind Ewoks helping to fight back. Fine, but defeating the Empire.
they
The Empire looks stupid.
they did help. It's not like they.
Slingshots and rocks, man.
That's the thing. That's the thing. If George Lucas had actually directed this and had his way, what's the little Wicket? Was that his name?
Yeah, Wicket.
He probably would have ended up in a TIE fighter somehow, like had taken command of a TIE fighter or something like that, and had gone and infiltrated the base.
God.
And Wicket would have been the one who had destroyed the Death
Would have
Star.
accidentally.
Yeah.
Oops.
He would have been going, oops. He would have
Oh
been
my
hearing like little
God.
Wicket speak. I bet you anything that's what would have happened.
Anyway,
So-
we gotta go. The cars are coming.
Yeah, fantastically,
Yeah.
everybody had a great character arc
Yes.
by the end of this film. Satisfying conclusion on all aspects of everything. So because of the emotional weight, my rating is a 4.9, but I do concede that A New Hope is the better film.
Overall.
I just love the true
Oh yeah.
emotion you get from the end of Return of the Jedi, even though the rest of the film can be really hard to watch in
Yeah.
some spots. But
But
it's the
it all-
ending that kills me.
It
so.
all comes down to the Emperor, Vader, and Luke, man.
The music
is-
that
all of that is
the music
freaking awesome.
the music from the point of Vader getting destroyed by Luke and that whole musical sequence between then and then that basically in the film, that musical sequence all the way till the end is just fantastic, like vintage John Williams. It's great soundtrack to listen to. All three films, they're just John Williams. Just he doesn't make
the
a
man.
bad. He just can't make a bad score. He's
No.
just, he can't.
So we give Return of the Jedi 4.5 out of 5 stars.
Not
of the-
on a personal note, but
Right. But yeah, one of the greatest trilogies of all time in the history of cinema. It doesn't really get any better. It's definitely top 5, maybe top 3
it would.
trilogies of all time.
I would have to argue that The Lord of the Rings is probably my personal favorite, only because of the clear cohesion and collaboration. You knew that those movies were all filmed at the same time.
Here they come. Cars are coming.
Yeah, we're gonna have to go.
But anyway,
everybody knew that
this
those movies were
was-
filmed all at the same time,
Yeah.
but this movie is probably my second favorite trilogy because of just how well it turned out for not being such a clear, cohesive, okay, we filmed this all in 2.5 years and released it in 3 years. No, this was filmed as it went. Like, okay, well, now we're going to have this director, and we're going to have this director, and we're going to have this and this, you know. It should not have come together as well as it did.
So we love it. Timeless classics. We highly recommend. If you have not seen it, go out and see it. And we're about to go in, you guys. We are about to go in to see. We're hoping we get a true sequel
we
finally.
are hoping for redemption.
We are hoping to at least for it to be entertaining. And at least, I mean, nothing's going to replace these movies we just talked about. Nothing's going to be better than one of the greatest trilogies of all time. We're not expecting this new movie to be better than those films. We just want it to not shit on it.
Yes.
We just want it to bring a little bit of nostalgia.
Give us respect back.
Respect.
Bring back dignity.
Star Wars
to this
deserves better.
Goofy, wonderful, fantastic
Yes.
series of films that deserve much better.
Yes.
The fans deserve better, and the movies deserve better.
Yes. We just want to go in, have a great time, and be entertained. And just, please, dear God, be better than the prequels. That's all we ask. That's all we ask. So we're getting ready to stop our vlog in right here. We're going to go in, and because we can't wait. We wanted to do a traditional review for this movie, but we can't wait. So as soon as we get out of the theater, we're coming right back here, and we do a quick vlog review for Force Awakens. So we're not gonna be biased.
No.
We're not gonna be biased. If there's some bullshit in this movie, if we don't like it, or if we're just like, or we're disappointed, we'll let you know. But I highly doubt that'll be
No.
what will happen.
I don't see it.
You never know. So we're gonna stop it right now. We're gonna go run in, and we'll see you guys soon. All right, bye.